Good morning, everyone. I'm Fred Appleton, a beef producer from central Queensland. And through my Nuffield journey, I have looked at how Northern Australian grass-fed beef industry can better utilise its current practices and adapt to meet consumer demands. Firstly, I would like to sincerely thank both Nuffield Australia and Rabobank for giving me the opportunity to undertake this study for an industry that I am passionate about. The opportunity has broadened my knowledge about world agriculture and created a greater appreciation for our Australian agriculture and our beef industry. It has also allowed some great personal growth. I would like to thank the extended Nuffield network for their contacts, tours, meals and a comfy bed along the way. Susan Howe, formerly of Rabobank, for her support and guidance in my Brazil GFP, a diverse group of individuals who made the journey an amazing experience. And very importantly, a thank you to my loyal team members who went above and beyond in my absence and made me realise that all their training had paid off and that things can function quite well without me. Finally, thank you to my wife, Anna, and daughters, Alexandria, Georgia, Harriet and Temperance, for your continued support and patience through this journey. A little background on myself. We operate a multi-generational family company, Appleton Cattle Company, with my parents, my brother and his wife, across 7 properties, all located in central Queensland. Previous to this, we had properties in northern Queensland, up into the Gulf, also in the central west. I've also spent a lot of time as a chopper pilot mustering in these areas and the Channel Country, southwestern Queensland. Our properties are located in the Ballyando River catchment, which is part of the Burdekin region, an area that hosts the 3rd largest cattle herd in Australia of 1.3 million and second only to the Fitzroy region in Queensland. 4 years ago, we underwent conversion to organics and now have a herd of approximately 40,000 head of cattle on 480,000 acres of predominantly buffalo country, operating under organic certification and turning off around 8,000 to 10,000 prime grass-fed organic slaughter cattle per year. Our base breeding herd consists of Charolais, Brahman, Droughtmaster, Santa Gertrudis, where we keep a pure cross within 60% of the herd, whilst introducing a cross with Angus and Shorthorn for the remaining 40% to allow for hybrid vigour and meat quality. I began the Nuffield journey attending the 2015 Contemporary Scholars Conference in France before sustaining an injury a few weeks before scheduled departure from the China GFP, which delayed my progress and saw me undertake another CSC in February 2016 in Ireland, following immediately onto the 2016 Brazil Global Focus Program. My initial topic was focused on animal husbandry practices, particularly the dehorning and castration of cattle, as there was and continues to be a strong public demand for good animal welfare practices across all industries. Early on in my travels, I soon realised that animal welfare tied into the much larger picture of consumer and public demand, of wanting to ensure the authenticity of their product. Consumers looking for a product which they can trust, that meets the criteria for ensuring animal welfare practices, environmental sustainability, origin transparency, traceability, that is produced in a free-range, grass-fed environment whilst delivering healthy, flavoursome and affordable standards. Australia is a leading exporter in both red meat and livestock that supplies over 100 countries, which accounts for around 60% of the beef industry production. The issues I found is that the Northern Australian grass-fed beef industry predominantly ticks these boxes for consumer demands. However, the knowledge about the product's qualities is failing to reach the consumer base both domestically and worldwide. So I was interested in quality assurance schemes, quality assurance systems, and Red Tractor seemed to tick the boxes. I was fortunate enough to meet with the Red Tractor team in London. They are the largest food standards scheme in the UK, and they particularly took my interest in relation to how we could create a recognisable brand here in Australia, as in the UK the consumer recognises the value of the logo, whether it be on a menu, price list or product label. They have peace of mind that the product meets some of the most comprehensive and respected standards in the world and has been independently inspected right across the food chain, from farm to pack, that covers animal welfare, food safety, traceability and environmental protection. Around 80% of the UK farming falls under the Red Tractor banner, whilst a comfortable 70% of the consumer recognise the name and logo, and one half of these consumers swear by it. They purchase the Red Tractor products with confidence, as it sets it apart from competing products. I believe our industry could investigate ways to create a similar set of standards here that recognise and accredits our practices, upholds and establishes our integrity on both a national and international basis in the grass-fed industry, as opposed to the current practices here in Australia, particularly within the organics, where producers and retailers are accredited by independent auditors but under the same standards, so the product differentiation does not stand out as there are various branding logos. By having such a standard, one that is applicable to the whole supply chain, we will be proactively meeting consumer demands by delivering a quality product either through the valuable live export or the domestic market, through the sale yards or direct to the processor. Whilst the Red Tractor logo sets its products apart in the marketplace and allows individual producers and products to be instantly given respected recognition among consumers, other businesses have taken matters into their own hands to grow with the market demands, such as TK Ranch in Alberta, Canada. The TK Ranch produces natural grass-fed beef and lamb, heritage pasture-raised pork and soy-free chicken, priding itself on its vertically integrated pasture-to-plate model, including its grass-fed program that has overarching benefits for the land, the animals and the consumers. The TK Ranch felt that under conventional commodity-based systems, they were continually being defeated, even after trying various cost-cutting methods. They decided to take matters into their own hands by adding value to what they were already doing and began taking control of their own marketing. Dylan Biggs of TK Ranch highlighted to me that he was amazed at the consumer demand for grass-fed beef after being told by Alberta Agriculture back in 1995, when they were just starting out, that there was no chance of success selling grass-fed beef direct in marketplace. And he now feels that the consumer demand has expanded and that the beef and other livestock industries will see more pressure placed on producers and their animal welfare practices. He is adapting the TK Ranch to meet these standards by ensuring his customers are knowledgeable about his low-stress stock handling, freeze branding and free-range techniques, and the assurance that all livestock remain free from GMO feeds, antibiotics, hormones, animal byproducts and chemical insecticides. Whilst TK Ranch is continually trying to adapt to meet the consumer demands, I feel that our northern beef industry is already meeting some of these with its natural landscapes, as we are already producing a free-range product in a sustainable environment. However, we could adapt further with the removal of hormones or chemical treatments in areas where practical. On my GFP and personal study trip, which amounted to 16 weeks travelling the globe, I was fortunate enough to spend time in France, Belgium, Netherlands, Ireland, UK, Canada, the USA, Mexico, Brazil and New Zealand. One of the key findings, the one thing that resonated with me throughout my travels, was how exclusive our northern Australian cattle production systems are. From our simple origins, the industry has continued with its low intensity and continues to reflect the pioneering spirit while hosting a unique identity, producing beef in a rare and sometimes harsh environment. What sets apart our production is the vastness of our environment, the minimal land maintenance, the little to no inputs required, and the adaptation of the cattle to this environment, and how they coexist with the natural ecosystems in a sustainable way, and how the long distance and at times low rainfall does not hinder the production or turn off of quality beef. Our beef has the added benefit of enjoying the vast free-range environment year-round as opposed to cattle reared in the Northern Hemisphere, where many are housed in barns over the winter months, taking away the natural grazing process and making it a very labour-intensive system. Environmental sustainability is one of the key consumer demands, and having a reliable water infrastructure that utilises all the available grazing land effectively is essential to meet this demand, as is continuing to implement technology by upgrading, when practical, to sustainable equipment, such as solar-powered pumps and systems. By expanding watering points, cattle will maintain body condition while spreading the grazing pressure more evenly across the land. As I said previously, our northern beef industry and practices already meet majority of consumer demands, and therefore at the moment it is relatively quite simple for many of those in the industry to take advantage of current niche markets, including grass-fed premiums, organics and MSA gradings. A lot of the northern Australia is naturally organic, and I recommend that the producers in these areas look into the options and advantages that are attached to be accredited, as in many cases the conversion would be a simple process and you would then receive a premium for practices that you're already undertaking. The MSA grading system is currently underutilised, and I would recommend that both producers and retailers better promote the high standard of product that is delivered through this grading system. Another recommendation to the industry would be to increase poll genetics into the herd whilst never losing sight of the bone and carcass structure of the animal. By introducing the right poll genetics, producers will meet better animal welfare standards and ultimately consumer demands by reducing the number of beasts requiring dehorning. By also introducing British and European bulls such as Shorthorn and Angus into the northern beef herds, it will deliver a better meat quality. By crossing these softer breeds over your herds, you will be producing a more consistent product and increasing the chance of meeting MSA grading. It is essential that these bulls have been bred and adapted to the northern environment as to survive the harshness of the north. Finally, I believe our simplistic production systems across northern Australia is truly unique in the world settings, and that we need to sell not only our quality meat product but our story and way of life in this rare and sometimes harsh environment. As combined, it allows us to meet demands and connect with the consumers. So thank you.